Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday, and you are tuned in to What's on West Midlands with Philip Solomon. That is my show. Every week, I come up with interesting places for you to visit, nice places to go, and a lot of them are not very expensive. I think that's important. Just adjust my camera a little bit, if you just excuse me. That's a bit better, isn't it? You can see me better now, can't you? Good. And places you can go. And we've got a brand new feature as well, which I promised you last week. We're looking at places that you can take your four-legged friend, your doggy, with you, and get him or her wagging their tail with enjoyment as they spend time with you on interesting places. But without further ado, let's get underway and tell you about what I've come up for you with this week. Well, I always start with the theatres. I don't know about you. I love the theatre. It's always a special place for me. And my favourite theatre, of course, is always Alexandra Theatre, Birmingham. And well, for tonight, just for tonight, and until the 9th, you've got Riverdance. Now, if you've ever seen Riverdance, you know it's a fantastic show, and it's one that you want to go back and see time and again. Again, I do apologise for this. That's better, isn't it? That's a lot better. If you've seen Riverdance, it's a fantastic show. And if you've seen it, it's one that you like to see again, I think, because it's just one of those things. Every time you watch it, it's like something different comes on with it. And it's a brilliant theatre, the Alexandra Theatre. It's always been my favourite theatre. Of course, I love my own theatre at the Grand as well. But it's it's a pretty great show. At the let me see what we've got for you, right? At the Hippodrome, we've got coming up on the 18th. That was one for your notes, really. What is it? Oh yeah, Black Sabbath Ballet. Oh, now that's exciting, isn't it? Imagine that. You couldn't imagine Ozzy Osbourne and Geezer Butler, could you, in those very tights dancing around. But I understand it's a pretty great show. So it's one that you want to go and see at the good old Hippodrome. The Grand Theatre from the 14th of the 9th have got uh, Greatest Love of All. It's one I've not seen that. Of course, the lovely theatre, the Grand, and my own town theatre. I've been on stage there doing my own show, and wonderful atmosphere. I always think it's a great theatre and very great show. So that's one to put down in your diary. That'll be a nice evening. The Greatest Love of All. I don't think I've seen that. Might pop along. Lichfield Garrick have got the Buddy Holly story from the 2nd of the 9th. All right, to the 7th of the 9th. So yeah. Still running, but yeah, a good show. I've seen the Buddy Holly show a few times, and I think again that's one of those shows you can go and see again because it's all the different music, isn't it? That'll Be the Day, Heartbeat. You could go on forever, couldn't you? Fan the fantastic songs that the man wrote, and a massive influence, Buddy Holly, on all the 60s groups. If you were around in the 60s, and let's say if you can remember the 60s, you probably wasn't around. I was definitely around, but I think I can still remember it quite well. And all the groups, I played in groups and did all that stuff. We used to be very, very inspired by Buddy Holly and the Crickets. They were absolutely great. Terrible tragedy that the plane crash that killed him and the Big Bopper. And of course, what can you say? It was the end of the story as the song I forget this. When the music stopped, the music stopped. You can work the rest out, but it's a great show. And when you want to go and see, that'd be great. The Rep, they've got Inspector Morse still going, and his House of Ghosts, and that's until the 14th of the 9th. So I believe that's very interesting. I've not seen it, but I believe it's very, very interesting. And of course, if you're a fan of Inspector Morse, you find out some more details of exactly what it's all about. And I'm sure that that'll be a great evening for you. I'm sure that you'll really enjoy that one. Sure, that'll be lots of fun. Right, let's have a look at some other things for you. Malvern Autumn Show. Yeah, well, don't start till the 26th of the 9th. But I'll put a little note there in my notes. Dogs welcome on a Sunday. That's interesting, isn't it? Because dogs can be taken along there on a Sunday. Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, Working Class Era, Ozzy Osbourne. what can you say about Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath? Oh, the Osbournes on the TV program. I've interviewed Ozzy a couple of times, and I remember him way back in the day. I remember him once, I think it was at Walsall Town Hall, and he took us all a bit of a walk around. He was always up to somewhat a little bit different, Ozzy Osbourne, but he's great fun, great fun. And I mean, really, I think you've got to say that really they were the guys really who started the heavy metal music. If you're a fan of that, I love it. I love my rock and roll, but I love heavy metal as well. Big fan of Judas Priest, big fan of Judas Priest as well, from Warsaw. But I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, what can you say? As far as I understand, pardon me, as far as I understand, there's all sorts of things that you can say as well. There's all sorts of interesting things. It's called Working Class Hero. It's about Ozzy Osbourne. That's on till the 24th, or the 21st or the 24th. You need to double check that. If you've not seen it, well, it's one that you're going to want to go and see, ain't you? Especially if you come from Birmingham. But I think anybody who really, especially if you love heavy metal music. And I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but I always think that's our music, especially in Birmingham, the Black Country. There might be a few people who disagree with me. There's been some amazing heavy metal bands throughout the world, hasn't there, really? And very good they are. But I do believe that heavy metal music came from the Black Country. If you were a kid and you lived in the area, like I did, you used to have the stamping machines. I lived in Willenhall, and there were several factories. You'd hear the bump, bump. And it was the stamping machine, big stampers. And they were pretty dangerous places to be. I remember hearing about one man at the famous Ruby Owen factory. Had, what can I say? He'd gone in there to try and fix it, and the thing had stamped him, literally, and that was the end of him. But I do believe that that is the true sound of heavy metal, where it comes from. And the same, I suppose, over in Birmingham, all the industry and all that sort of stuff. But, I think bands like, well, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, you know, Judas Priest, who I've mentioned, all very much influenced by that type of music, all fantastic. Let's see what else we've got for you then, what I haven't mentioned so far. I've took me notes here and I'm doing for you. Don't forget at the end, dogs, places that welcome dogs. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, right. At the Mac, they've got something very, very interesting. Again, I haven't seen this, but I'm intending to, and it's on right through to till November. It's called sari. It's all about the sari that the Indian ladies wear, because there's all sorts of styles of it apparently, and they do look very smart, don't they? If you see them when they're all dressed up in their saris, they look very, very lovely. And this is all about the sari, the different types of material that it was made with, the different designs. And that's really, really be very interesting, that. Very, very interesting. I would suggest that you get along and see that. And don't just think that that's for Indian people. It's not. I mean, we had a massive part in India, didn't we? The British, we were there right up until, the Second World War and independence. But we've still got, most of us have still got loads of Indian friends, haven't we? And I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I'm looking at those stars at the back of my background. It's very interesting. I wonder will we ever have a time when we'll be going to the moon, going visiting the stars. Would be wonderful, wouldn't it, really? Probably not in my time, but I suppose it will happen one day. I'm not too sure about space, really. I often think there's got to be even people similar to us somewhere out there in the universe, or or other universes. There's got to be, hasn't there, really? And yeah. Anyway, I've gone a bit off beat there. I've not talking to you about that when I was talking about that wonderful clothing style that the Asian ladies wear. And it's right until November. And the Mac, Midlands Arts Centre, I should say, really. It's always a very welcoming place, always great fun to visit. And one of those places that you can't not enjoy, really. Over at the Worcester Art Gallery, they've got another thing there that's sort of age related, just about in our patch, I suppose, Worcester. And it's I grew up the 90s, and that's on from the 7th to the 9th. Yeah, I grew up in the 90s. I didn't grow up in the 90s. I was getting old by then. But I'm sure you do remember that, and it's very interesting times, wasn't it? I'm one of those people. I think the music stopped in the 70s. No, no, it's all not really. Music carries on throughout the era, throughout the different times. And it does influence you, doesn't it? The music that you remember is the music of your times and your eras, and it's fun. But, it's good to go and see other things as well. So a little trip out to the Worcester Art Gallery. I've been there as well. It's a very nice gallery. They've got a lot of interesting things to say. So you could sort of make a day of that, couldn't you? And that would be fun. Sure, you would enjoy that. So I found that for you. I keep trying to find interesting things for you every week. I hope you're taking notice and going to a few of them, trying to come up with a few different things. Obviously, the theatres and the various things. Always on something great down on at the Robin too. I know they've got some. I'm not going to go too much into that because they've got several artists over the week. But the Robin 2 is always a great venue. It's a place I've worked myself again, been on the stage and work from and frequently pop in there. You probably see me there and one or two other West Midland well-known people. Not that I'm saying I'm well-known, but legends. You might see one or two of the rock and roll legends in there. It's very, very popular. I do apologise for scope there. I'm in a very small studio here, and the camera lights are very, very hot, and it's making me itch. Never mind, that's not a problem, mate. And Wolverhampton Art Gallery have got a great showing as well. It's called Come As You Really Are, and that's on from the 5th to the 10th. You'll enjoy that. That's very, very interesting. But don't just go and say that's a special one. Come as you really are. Have a look round all the gallery because they got some fantastic paintings there. Wonderful different things that you can go and see on all different levels. And it really is great fun. Wolverhampton Art Gallery, you can go and spend a day there, to be quite honest. The same as Birmingham. The Birmingham Museum, they're as good as anything in the world, but we've got some great, great events there. And that one sounds interesting. Come as you really are. I haven't got too much details on that, but I suppose it means you can be fairly casual. I don't think you ever have to dress for anything these days, do you really? Would you mind if I just had quick, uh, a quick drink of my cup of tea? I'm sure you don't mind. You find that very interesting watching me drink tea, won't you? I do enjoy my cup of tea. Do you? I like it. I must know I was going to say PG tips and uh, and Yorkshire tea, but all the teas are all good, aren't they? I don't want to advertise anyone because you get in trouble for promoting one against the others. They're all great, aren't they? Tetleys and all of them, really. But I think we all have favourites, don't we? It's only natural. Right, here's an interesting one that I've come up for you, and it is really, really, really a fascinating place to visit. I'm going to find a way to stop those lights burning me. They're cooking me. I'm cooking under the lights. Yeah, anyway, don't worry about that. A very interesting place to visit, and I hope this month I've come up with lots of different things because it's now you've got some of these what's on programs and recommend. It's just the same thing every week over. You've got to find things new for the people. They want to go and experience new things. And one thing I've come across, which you will find extremely interesting, I think, it's at the West Midlands Police Museum. I think that's in Birmingham. Unlock History, and it's on all summer. And you can go there and they'll teach you all about things past and present. You can see the cells and they'll put you in, they'll put the cuffs on for you if you'd like. And I wouldn't be too keen on that in case they didn't let me go. No, I'm joking. But all those sort of things and all sorts of stories from policing past and present. And I mean, they do a wonderful job, don't they? I always think sometimes we sort of moan, that we don't see the policemen on the beat the way we used to and riding round on their bikes and all that, but they'd never keep up the speed with the criminals that they're chasing of the day, really, would they? We all say it though, we all want to see more policemen on the beat, don't we? And like I say, riding up beside you on their bike, and evening, sir, are you all right? Are you okay, madam? But placing is a very different game to that today. But we'll hear about all the history of it. And as I understand that, I think that's, check this, but I understand that. I think that's a free one, or a very reasonable one. You need to check that one. Unlock History, it's called. And that will be really very interesting for you. You've got up at Dunstall Park in Wolverhampton, you've got the greyhound racing on regular evenings. That's always good fun. And if you want to go out a little bit, out to Rugby, the country club are celebrating their history of 150 years with a display of all things about the club and lots of things that you can find and take place in. And that's on to right through to the 30th of this month. Oh, this is an interesting one I've took note of. Could have done with getting a little bit more information on that, but this is interesting. Jesus and the Pope. You're thinking, my gosh, now what's he on about? Jesus and the Pope by Robbie Williams. And what it is at the Barlaston factory, where they make all the Staffordshire china in Stoke-on-Trent, they're looking at a couple of his drawings, and what they've done is turn them into sort of porcelain things, I think, where they're sort of exhibited. Great chap, Robbie, and very very proud of his Midland roots. Uh, I think he was always a Port Vale fan, as I remember, Robbie, and I remember his dad as well very well. He's a very, very good local performer. He used to work most of the events all around the West Midlands. And of course, his mother was a medium, the same as me. She used to do that work. And I'll tell you something, I've always believed that Robbie Williams has that gift as well. I mean, he's not somebody that I know, he's not a friend of mine, but if I ever did talk to him, I would definitely talk to him about that because I think he definitely has latent spiritual ability. But that's got nothing to do with what's on, is it? That's got nothing to do with what's on West Midlands with Philip Solomon. Need to be telling you all these places you can go to. Anyway, it's about his drawings and works of art and all that sort of stuff. And no doubt you'll be able to see some of the wonderful pottery that they've done over there, not just Barliston, but the whole of Stoke-on-Trent. I mean, still is in history, and the English history of pottery very much rooted in Stoke-on-Trent, isn't it, really? Right. Now, you've had all those suggestions, and I hope you're taking them on board and you're thinking about going to one or two of them. But I've got a few suggestions for you as well, where where you can take along, tend to the enjoyment of him or her, and take your doggies with you. Now, I promised you I was going to work on this, and I have. Now, here's a few interesting places that you can take your dog with you in the West Midlands. Now, I hope you're going to be interested in this. I hope so. But I put quite a bit of work into this. The West Midlands actually offers many interesting visits and places that you can go to with your dog, ranging from wonderful country parks to walks by the canal, historic estates, and lots of other full day adventures that people, if you only look for it, you'd realise that you can go along to You're not banned, not stopped from going to these places because you've got a doggy. You can take him along with you. My wife is positively not happy at all if she don't take our dog along. Yeah, but she does love it to pieces, so that's understandable, I suppose. But anyway, let's get on with it. What can I say? The canal walks are very, very interesting. Obviously, with recommending them, it might be a good idea to have your dog with you, to be quite honest. Today, really, we have to be careful with security, don't we? And, I used to love to go fishing on the canal. But I mean, I think like everybody else, when you get a little bit older, you're a little bit nervous of maybe the wrong sort coming along and spoiling it for everybody. But if you got your doggy with you, you'd hope he'd look after you, wouldn't you? The way you've looked after him. Not always though, but there you go. Right, here's some of the things that I've come up with. I've also included nature reserves and country parks. Saltwell's local nature reserve in Dudley is the former mining quarry that is now a beautiful woodland and has one of the largest urban nature reserves in the UK. It features dog-friendly trails and an owl clay pit, with the Saltwell pub nearby, famous legendary pub, offering a dog-friendly bar area. So that's somewhere that you can go along, have a great day at, and there's a great place that you can recharge your batteries, eat your eat your lovely meals and whatever, if you can sandwich with you, wherever, or go to the pub. A lot of West Midland people like to go to the pub, don't they? But Saltwell's local nature reserve. These places are there, aren't they? And often unless somebody points it out to you, we forget about it. Sutton Park in Sutton Coldfield. Now, that is one of the largest urban parks in the whole of Europe, and nearly 2,500 acres of national nature reserve. And there is a huge variety of all sorts of things, terrain, including heathlands, woodlands, lakes, and marshes. It is considered definitely to be one of the most dog-friendly walks in the whole of the West Midlands. And well, I've already told you, it is one of the largest urban parks in the whole of Europe. We don't make enough of ourselves sometimes in the West Midlands. We talk about some of the famous parks in South Africa and in Europe itself. There are some big parks in France. But we stand against them, not against them, but with them, if you like, in having those same sort of facilities. Now, the Clent Hills are always very interesting to me, the Clent Hills, because my dad was born in what they call well, today it's quite a posh area today. It's a part of Birmingham that all the sort of quite well-to-do people. I won't say exactly where, but if I was to mention Bardgreen, it's not very far away from the Clent Hills in Worcestershire. Part of the National Trust, the site has a large area where you can let your dog off the lead. The cafe, now there's something that I've found for you. There's a cafe at Nimmings Wood. It is car park free. And I'm not sure it's car park free there. More notes it says it does, but you need to check that. But it is also dog friendly. So you can go along there and have a nice day. And not mentioning Nimmins Park, Nimmins Wood, or the cafe over any others, but it is well receiving in your pets with you. Well, your dog. I know. Yeah, it's a bit. I was originally going to say your pets, but you can't really take your hamster along, can you? Really? Not really. Well, you can't take your duck along, can you? Or if you've got you keep koi carp, you can't really take them along. Could you put them in the lake? You'd never see them again, would you? I'm being silly, aren't I? But it is based mostly on dog owners, because that's what it is, really. Right, I've already mentioned the canal walks. Don't forget, somewhere like Walsall and the Black Country and up into Netherton, we've got some of the best canal walks and best areas of canal in the whole of the country. Whole of the country. Right, my great grandfather actually was worked on the canals. He was a bargee. Started off just working on the canals and he ended up owning about 40 boats. So he did all right, didn't he? So it's interesting to me, but it will be interesting to you too. And the Birmingham Canal walks as well are wonderful, really. We go to Venice, don't we, to see those beautiful canals. You'd be just as well off going to Netherton. Well, I suppose it wouldn't exactly be the same as Venice, but the canals, we've got as many canals in the Black Country there, and we don't make a thing of it, really, do we? Probably because the living memory for us West Midland people was a very hard work and what the canals did, taking coal and iron and all sorts of things all over the country. And I always think we could make a lot more use of the canals than what we do as well. Okay, the transport would take longer, but you wouldn't have so many jams on the motorways and things of that nature, would you? Anyway, that's just my opinion. Now, here's an interesting one for you. The Distillery, Birmingham, is located at the Roundhouse. This pub has a large courtyard and welcomes dogs inside as well as out. Now, very often you can go to places, but you can't take doggy inside. But as I repeat, the Distillery at Birmingham, located at the Roundhouse. This pub has a large courtyard and welcomes dogs inside as well as out. Now, if they say you can't when you go there, tell them as my information that I've been given is that you can. Juju's Cafe, Birmingham. This is a canal side cafe that has a large outdoor terrace where dogs are welcome, even offering pup even offering puppuccinos to them if you want to buy them for them. But very well recommended, JoJo's Cafe, Birmingham. Right on the canal side, you can do a bit of research yourself. I find those places for you, but you can go on the internet, do a bit of work yourself to find out a bit more about them. But that's a good one for you. Now, Red Brick Market, Birmingham, has a quirky marketplace in Digbeth, where leashed dogs are welcome to join you for some retail therapy. Now, I was going, I'm not going to say where, but not very far from Shrewsbury. I went to somewhere that had, and they'd got an indoor market, and you can't take your dog in, and I went one in Shrewsbury, you can take your dog in, and you know, they must lose a lot of customers with that. I think you have to insist in places like that where there's food and that your dog is kept on the lead or the leash. But I see some unsavoury people in various places that I think dogs would not be any more unreasonable to attend places of that nature. But I suppose it's difficult with food. But, as I say, at Birmingham, the Red Brick Market, a very interesting place in Digbeth. The leashed dogs are welcome to join you for some retail therapy. They actually say it, you can't say any more. The British Oak at Sturchley. This pub is a canine friendly gem with treats at the bar and dog events held twice a year. Not only do they welcome your four-legged friend along there, they have a couple of events twice a year, especially, relating to them. You ain't going to find nothing better than that for your doggies, are you, than what I found for you? See, and I do all the work for you. Now, over my end, the Dog and Partridge, Carthief, Wolverhampton, going out towards Cannock and that way. This pub offers a relaxing atmosphere, home cooked food, and a doggy menu. Now, I'm not joking, it's absolutely true. I'm going to repeat it again because I know you're going to think, oh, listen, the Dog and Partridge, Carthape, Wolverhampton, the pub offers a relaxing atmosphere, home cooked food, and it also has a doggy menu. Quite right. So your doggy can choose the things that he or she would like as well. Now you check it out. I'll look up into those things very carefully before I find them for you. There's loads of other people who tell you about what's on the West Midlands. They don't find the things for you that I do. Remember that. Designer outlets. West Midlands Cannock. Your dog is welcome in the outdoor areas of the outlet village, provided they are kept on a lead. The centre also provides water edge historic sites with dog-friendly grounds. Of course, you've got the wonderful Cannock Chase as well. They do sort of have their restrictions on there because they've got a lot of deer, haven't they? And one of the few places you can actually go and, yeah, you've got a good chance of seeing reindeer, haven't you? And isn't that wonderful that we've still got that so close to where we are in the West Midlands? Tell your friends in other parts of the world, we watch the reindeers regularly on Cannock Chase. Some of them people haven't come in their gardens, the very edge of it. Right, finally, moving out a little bit, but Stratford upon Avon, probably the most famous place that there's ever going to be. Obviously, you've got the stories of the barge, you've got his home there. It's not just about William Shakespeare. You've got Anne Hathaway's house, you've got all these places, but Stratford on Avon, well, dogs can't go in Anne Hathaway's cottage and places like that. They are very, very welcome in the extensive grounds and gardens on the lead. The town itself is a charming place to go. If you've never been to Stratford and Avon, I'll be very surprised if you haven't. But an absolutely charming place. And I don't think there's anywhere more lovely to walk round. It really is. So go along then and take your pub with you. Now, coming back over towards my area again, towards Wolverhampton and Dudley, you've got Imlay Hall and Park. 180 acres of parkland. This is a great spot for a dog walk. and they absolutely love it there. Now, I think this is the jewel, the jewel in the crown. I'm going to say the crown in the jewel for those of you who own dogs. And since I've been doing this, you've been saying to me, "We don't know where to go. We can't. No, if we can't take the dog, we can't go." Well, Blitz Hill Victorian Town, Ironbridge, is one of the greatest museums, alongside the Black Country Museum, which is also fantastic. But Blitz Hill Victorian Town, Ironbridge, dogs on leash are welcome to explore this open-air museum and go in all the things and experience it, which creates a Victorian era. It really does. Staffordshire at its best. All sorts of pathways that you can walk around, places that you can go and see men and women at work the way they were years ago, and you can take your dog with you. Now, I've added this onto this week's particular. I thought it would be. I said that I was going to include it on West Midlands. What's on West Midlands with me, Philip Solomon, and I have. But I'm not going to lecture, but I'm also going to say you have to be responsible when you take dogs places. Take along those little black bags to pick up those special packages that they might leave behind them. Be respectful of them. If you know that they're not friendly with other dogs, don't take them by other dogs. Keep them away. Treat them to be nice. Treat them to be as they should be. Some places it's probably sensible. Maybe if you have a large dog. People are always, I think, more scared of large dogs. And I think the thing is really certain breeds you probably have got to put a muzzle and an halter or things of that nature on them, even though you don't want to. But I've found places that you can take it. Don't be getting in touch with me again saying we can't go anywhere because of the dog, because you can. And that basically is what's on West Midlands with Philip Solomon for another week. And I hope that you're going to join me. Same place, 7 o'clock next Friday. Remember the things that I always say to you, be good, but be careful. If you can't be good, be extra careful. But join me every week. It wouldn't be the same without you. Good night and God bless.